What if the next big love story at Heartland is already beginning, and we didn't even notice it at first? For years, fans of Heartland watched Amy Fleming slowly rebuild her life after the heartbreaking loss of Ty Borden. Many believed Amy might never open her heart again. But now, a new name is starting to appear in her story, Nathan Price. Their conversations are small, their moments are quiet, yet something about them feels different. Is this simply a new friendship? Or could it be the beginning of a new chapter for Amy? To understand what's really happening between Amy and Nathan in season 20, we first need to look at where Amy's journey has taken her since everything changed. For a long time, Amy's world felt frozen in the moment she lost Ty. The pain of losing the love of her life changed everything at Heartland Ranch. Amy had always been strong, but grief is not something that disappears overnight. In the seasons that followed, viewers watched her focus on the things that helped her keep going: her daughter Lindy, the horses she helped heal, and the family that stood beside her through every difficult day. Amy didn't try to replace Ty, and she never rushed into a new relationship. Instead, she chose to take life one step at a time. Every horse she worked with became part of her healing process. Helping injured and frightened animals reminded her that broken things can slowly become strong again. It was a quiet but powerful way for Amy to move forward without forgetting the past. Life on the ranch also kept her busy. Between caring for horses, helping her family, and raising Lindy, Amy rarely had time to think about romance. In many ways, that was intentional. Opening her heart again felt risky. Ty had been such an important part of her life that the idea of loving someone else seemed almost impossible. But over time, small changes began to appear. Amy started smiling more. She became more open with the people around her. The sadness never disappeared, but it slowly turned into something softer, a memory that she carried instead of a weight that held her back. This emotional growth is exactly where the story of season 20 begins. Amy is no longer the person she was right after Ty's death. She is stronger, calmer, and more confident in the life she has rebuilt. And sometimes when someone reaches that point in life, the universe has a way of bringing new people into their path. For a long time, Amy's world felt frozen in the moment she lost Ty. The pain of losing the love of her life changed everything at Heartland Ranch. Amy had always been strong, but grief is not something that disappears overnight. In the seasons that followed, viewers watched her focus on the things that helped her keep going: her daughter Lindy, the horses she helped heal, and the family that stood beside her through every difficult day. Amy didn't try to replace Ty, and she never rushed into a new relationship. Instead, she chose to take life one step at a time. Every horse she worked with became part of her healing process. Helping injured and frightened animals reminded her that broken things can slowly become strong again. It was a quiet but powerful way for Amy to move forward without forgetting the past. Life on the ranch also kept her busy. Between caring for horses, helping her family, and raising Lindy, Amy rarely had time to think about romance. In many ways, that was intentional. Opening her heart again felt risky. Ty had been such an important part of her life that the idea of loving someone else seemed almost impossible. But over time, small changes began to appear. Amy started smiling more. She became more open with the people around her. The sadness never disappeared, but it slowly turned into something softer, a memory that she carried instead of a weight that held her back. This emotional growth is exactly where the story of season 20 begins. Amy is no longer the person she was right after Ty's death. She is stronger, calmer, and more confident in the life she has rebuilt. And sometimes, when someone reaches that point in life, the universe has a way of bringing new people into their path. At first, the connection between Amy Fleming and Nathan Price felt simple and friendly. Two people working around horses, sharing quiet conversations, and helping each other during long days at Heartland Ranch. But as the story in Heartland season 20 begins to move forward, small details start to stand out, the kind of details that fans of the show are very good at noticing. It begins with the way Nathan watches Amy work with horses. Anyone who has spent time around Amy knows how special her gift is. She has a calm energy that helps even the most frightened horses trust her. Many people admire that ability, but Nathan seems to understand it on a deeper level. Instead of being surprised by it, he respects it. He asks questions, listens carefully, and pays attention to the way Amy reads a horse's behavior. This quiet respect slowly builds a sense of connection between them. Then there are the moments when their conversations become more personal. What started as simple talk about horses slowly turns into conversations about life, struggles, and the past. Nathan doesn't push Amy to share more than she wants. But when she does open up, he listens without judgment. For Amy, that kind of patience is rare and comforting. One scene in particular begins to stand out for fans. After a difficult day on the ranch, Amy and Nathan find themselves talking while watching the sunset over the fields. It's not a dramatic moment filled with big words. Instead, it's quiet and honest. They talk about the challenges of starting over and how life sometimes changes in ways we never expect. In that moment, there's a feeling that both of them understand something about each other that others might not fully see. This is when viewers begin to sense that their bond might be growing into something deeper. The way they look at each other lasts a little longer than usual. Their smiles feel more meaningful. Even the silence between them seems comfortable rather than awkward. But for Amy, these feelings are not easy to face. Loving someone again after losing Ty Borden is not a simple step forward. Ty's memory is still part of her life, and nothing can replace the years they shared. That is why Amy moves carefully, protecting both her heart and the life she has built for herself and her daughter. Nathan seems to understand this without needing it explained. He never pressures Amy or asks for more than she is ready to give. Instead, he continues to be present, supportive, calm, and patient. And sometimes that kind of steady presence is exactly what begins to change everything. By this point in the season, fans of Heartland start asking an important question. Are Amy and Nathan simply becoming close friends? Or are we watching the early steps of a new love story that could slowly grow at Heartland Ranch? For most of Heartland Season 20, Amy Fleming believes she has her life perfectly balanced. She focuses on her daughter, her horses, and the peaceful rhythm of Heartland Ranch. Everything feels stable again. But the more time she spends around Nathan Price, the more Amy realizes something she never planned for her heart might be changing. The turning point doesn't come from a big romantic moment. Instead, it grows from a situation that reminds Amy how much life can shift in a single day. One afternoon at the ranch, a horse arrives that is frightened and completely unwilling to trust anyone. The situation becomes tense, and even experienced handlers struggle to calm the animal. Amy steps in, using the patience and understanding that have always made her special. Nathan watches closely as Amy works with the horse. But this time, he doesn't just stand back. When things become difficult, he steps forward to help in exactly the way Amy needs. He stays calm, follows her lead, and supports her without trying to take control. Together, they manage to calm the horse and guide it to safety. After the moment passes, something changes between them. Amy notices how naturally they worked as a team. It felt easy, almost the way things once felt when she worked beside Ty Borden years ago. That realization surprises her more than anything else. Later that evening, Amy finds herself thinking about the moment again and again. Not because it was dramatic, but because it felt meaningful. For the first time in a long while, she imagines what life might look like if someone new truly became part of her world. But that thought brings a wave of mixed emotions. Part of Amy feels hopeful, while another part feels unsure. Moving forward could mean opening her heart again, and that is a step she has carefully avoided for years. Nathan, meanwhile, seems to sense the change but never pushes Amy to decide anything quickly. His patience remains the same as it was from the beginning. He continues to show up, help at the ranch, and share quiet moments with Amy that feel honest and real. This leaves Amy facing a choice she never expected to confront again. Should she protect the peaceful life she has built, or take a chance on a future that might include someone new? For fans watching Heartland, this question has become one of the most emotional parts of Season 20. Because if Amy does decide to move forward, it won't erase the past. Instead, it could prove something powerful, that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Sometimes, it simply means finding the courage to let life surprise you once again. By this point in Heartland Season 20, the connection between Amy Fleming and Nathan Price is no longer something fans can ignore. What once felt like simple friendship has slowly grown into something deeper. But the real question is no longer whether they care about each other. The real question is whether Amy is ready to admit it. The moment that brings everything into focus happens during a quiet evening at Heartland Ranch. After another long day of work, the ranch finally becomes peaceful. The horses are settled, the sun begins to disappear behind the hills, and the busy energy of the day fades into silence. Amy and Nathan find themselves talking again, just like they have many times before. But this conversation feels different. Instead of speaking about horses or ranch work, the topic slowly turns toward the future. Nathan shares how life has taken him through many unexpected turns, and how sometimes the best things happen when people stop trying to control every step of the journey. Amy listens carefully. His words stay with her because they reflect something she has been quietly struggling with inside her own heart. For so long, she has tried to keep her life safe and predictable. She focused on being strong for her daughter and protecting the memories she shared with Ty Borden. But somewhere along the way, she may have also closed the door to new possibilities. Nathan doesn't ask Amy to make any promises. In fact, he makes it clear that he understands how complicated her feelings must be. All he says is that sometimes moving forward doesn't mean leaving the past behind. It simply means allowing life to grow in a new direction. Those words stay in Amy's mind long after the conversation ends. For the first time, she realizes that the fear she feels isn't really about forgetting Ty. It's about allowing herself to feel happiness again without guilt. This realization changes the way Amy begins to see Nathan. He is no longer just a visitor passing through the ranch or a friend who happens to understand horses. He has become someone who truly understands her, someone patient enough to walk beside her without rushing her decisions. For fans of Heartland, this moment feels like the emotional center of the entire storyline. Because Amy's journey has never only been about love. It has always been about healing, growth, and finding the courage to keep living fully even after heartbreak. As Heartland Season 20 continues, the story between Amy Fleming and Nathan Price slowly reaches a point where things can no longer stay the same. For a long time, their connection has lived in quiet moments, shared smiles, thoughtful conversations, and the peaceful understanding they built while working together at Heartland Ranch. But now, both of them realize that something deeper has been growing beneath the surface. What makes this moment so powerful is how natural everything feels. Amy never went searching for a new relationship. In fact, she spent years believing that part of her life might be over after losing Ty Borden. The love they shared was so strong that the idea of starting over once felt impossible. Yet life has a strange way of bringing unexpected changes when people least expect them. Nathan's role in Amy's life has never been about replacing the past. Instead, he represents something different, a reminder that life can still hold new experiences, new friendships, and maybe even new love. He respects the memories Amy carries with her, and that respect is exactly what makes their connection feel genuine. There comes a moment late in the season when Amy finally allows herself to admit what she has been feeling for some time. It isn't a dramatic confession or a grand romantic scene. Instead, it's a quiet realization. While watching the ranch during another peaceful evening, Amy notices how comfortable she feels when Nathan is nearby. His presence no longer feels like something temporary. It feels like someone who belongs in her life. At the same time, Amy understands that moving forward does not mean leaving Ty behind. The memories of her life with Ty will always remain part of who she is. What she begins to realize, however, is that love doesn't disappear just because life changes. Sometimes it simply grows in new ways. Nathan, true to his character, continues to give Amy the space she needs. He never demands answers or tries to rush her emotions. Instead, he stays patient and supportive, proving through his actions that he cares about Amy's happiness more than anything else. For viewers of Heartland, this stage of the story feels both emotional and hopeful. Amy's journey has been one of the longest and most heartfelt arcs in the series. Watching her slowly rediscover the possibility of happiness again is a powerful reminder of what the show has always been about: healing, family, and second chances. And now the biggest question remains: could Nathan truly become part of Amy's future at Heartland Ranch? Or is this only the beginning of another unexpected turn in her life? The answer may shape one of the most meaningful chapters the show has told in years. As the story continues in Heartland, one thing becomes clear: the journey of Amy Fleming has always been about growth, healing, and learning how to move forward without losing the past. Her connection with Nathan Price is not just another storyline. It represents a new stage in Amy's life, one that many fans never expected to see. For years, Amy's heart belonged to Ty Borden, and that love shaped so much of her story at Heartland Ranch. Even now, Ty's memory remains a powerful part of her life and the decisions she makes. But season 20 begins to show something important. Remembering the past and embracing the future are not opposites. They can exist together. Nathan's presence in Amy's life feels different from anything viewers have seen since Ty. He isn't trying to step into someone else's place. Instead, he brings his own quiet strength, patience, and understanding. These qualities slowly build a bond that feels honest and real. And that is why so many fans are paying close attention to every moment they share. Still, the future of Amy and Nathan is not completely clear yet. Heartland has always been a show that takes its time with emotional stories. Relationships grow slowly, and characters often face difficult choices before they truly understand what they want. For Amy, the biggest question is not just about love. It's about trusting herself to open her heart again. Trusting that happiness can return without replacing the past. And trusting that life may still have beautiful surprises waiting ahead. Nathan, on the other hand, seems ready to accept whatever path Amy chooses. His patience shows that he values her happiness more than rushing into a relationship. That kind of support might be exactly what Amy needs as she continues to figure out her feelings. So what really happened between Amy and Nathan in season 20? The truth is that their story is still being written. What started as simple conversations and shared work around the ranch has slowly grown into something meaningful. Whether that connection becomes a lasting love story or simply an important chapter in Amy's life remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Amy's journey proves that even after heartbreak, life can still move forward in unexpected ways. And sometimes, when the timing is finally right, a new chapter can begin exactly where you least expect it.